Okay. So today we have some interesting, we have some interesting topics, okay? These are some diseases that are they are considered to be really, really strange and weird. These are diseases and syndromes, okay? So we have 9 of them, okay? So you are going to choose one and you are going to give the rest of the class a little presentation about it, okay? So before we read the illnesses so you can choose them, I must tell you that that you have to prepare your presentation and you have to tell us the information that they have, the symptoms, and the things that you should or you shouldn't do if you have this syndrome or illness. Or maybe if you have someone that suffers from this disease or disorders, okay? So we're going to read the information that we have about this. Let's see, Andrea, can you help me read the first one? Congenital insensitivity to pain. That is the first one.
Okay. Congenital insensitivity to pain. This disease is present from birth, which inhibits the ability to perceive physical pain. It is caused by mutation in specific genes, particularly in an autosomal recessive pattern, which is to inherit gene mutation, one from each parent. People with this condition can feel the distinction between a sharp and a dull object and something cold and hot.
Okay, so there we have congenital insensitivity to pain. They cannot feel any pain, right? That is why. It is really strange. Imagine not feeling pain. That is really strange. Okay, we have the second one. Victoria, can you help me read the illness Stoneman syndrome, please? Okay.
Stoneman syndrome, fibrodysplasia, or OCP, I don't know.
Ossificans progressiva, yes.
Okay, or the Stoneman syndrome is a rare condition wherein the body's connective tissues slowly turns into bones. It's affects 1 in 2 million people and is caused by a gene mutation. The condition usually is starts from the shoulder and neck, making its way down to the leg.
Okay, very nice. So this syndrome creates, imagine your tissue, the soft parts of your body, it makes it into bones, into hard bones. Imagine the tissues that you have in your neck and you start getting like still, right? Because it creates bones. Imagine, this is a very weird illness. And we have another one, Alice in Wonderland syndrome. What is that one? Ronnie, can you help me read that one, please?
Sure. Alice in the Wonderland syndrome. This neurological syndrome is also called the DOS syndrome. This usually presents things that can distort a person's body image, including the size of the head, hands, and feet. Patients can also experience hallucinations, the feeling of time passing by either slowly or quickly.
Okay, really nice. So imagine this syndrome makes you believe that your head is big and your hands really small and your feet's like really weird, okay? That is why it is called Alice in Wonderland, because that's what Alice looks, right? Okay, and we have some more. Let's see to the other ones. We have autobravery syndrome. What is that one, Guillermo?
Okay, autobravery syndrome, also known as the gut fermentation syndrome, is a strange medical condition where a person experiences intoxication from alcohol through abnormal gut fermentation in the small intensities caused by an overgrowth of a specific type of fungus.
Okay, so imagine you get drunk because of your intestines wanted for you to be drunk, right? So it is auto bravery. That's why it's called auto bravery, because you get drunk not because you drink alcohol, but because your gut fermentates those liquids. Imagine. That's really weird. Okay. Then we have walking corpse syndrome. Alejandra, can you help me read that one, please?
Yes, walking corpse syndrome. The walking corpse syndrome is also called the Cator's syndrome, a neuropsychiatric disorder related to depression. This syndrome makes people believe that they are dead or missing their soul, organs, blood,
Blood?
or specific body parts. This syndrome is usually a symptom of another psychiatric condition rather than a disease on its own.
Okay, so this is a syndrome. This is not considered like a disease or an illness, but a mental disorder, right? So people believe that they are dead. That's why it is called walking corpse. Like if it was dead, but it isn't, right? Okay. Then we have foreign accent syndrome. Carlos, can you help me read that one, please? Foreign accent syndrome.
Foreign accent syndrome. Foreign accent syndrome stems from a damage in the part of the brain associated with the speech. This happens when a person suddenly wakes up speaking a different accent. It is commonly caused by stroke, trauma, tumors, and other neurological conditions.
Okay, imagine you waking up and speaking in another accent. There was one case in which one man fainted because of a car accident, and when he woke up, he started speaking Japanese and he spoke English. Imagine, how did that happen? We don't know, because that man spoke English and he started speaking Japanese. So it is really weird. Now let's see the last that we have. We have the Hutchinson Gilford progeria syndrome. Jose Luis, can you help me read that one, please?
Okay, the Hutchinson-Gilford progeria syndrome is an extremely rare condition wherein a person goes through a rapid appearance of aging beginning in childhood. It occurs in 1 of 4 million, with more than 131 cases reported in a scientific literature globally since 1886.
Okay, thank you. So that is that you age. Imagine you are, there are some cases that they are 10 years old, but they look like 40, right? So they age really, really quickly. Okay. And then we have parasitic twin. What is that one, Frankie? Can you help me read that one, please?
Parasitic twins. Parasitic twinning happens when one of the features stops developing during pregnancy. The parasite twin is attached to the other fetus and can grow recognizable
Recognizable. Okay.
recognizable body parts.
Okay, yes. That is a twin. Imagine a woman is pregnant and one of the fetuses, one of the babies, stop developing. So the other one continues developing and this one doesn't. So this one attaches to this baby. And sometimes there are people who are born with 4 legs, with a head, with a face. with anything. Imagine that is why it is called parasitic twin, right? And the last one that we have is human werewolf syndrome. Robert, can you help me read that one, please?
Hi, hypertrichosis.
Hypertrichosis, yes.
Hypertrichosis,
Mhm.
also known as the werewolf syndrome, is characterized by excessive hair growth anywhere on a person's body, including their face.
Mhm.
The hair growth is so thick that the person will resemble a werewolf.
Yes, that's why it is called werewolf syndrome, right? Because that person has a lot of hair, like a wolf, right? So tell me, which one do you want? Each of you is going to choose one. You are, I believe, you're exactly 9. So two, let's see. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yes, you're exactly 9. And we have 9 illnesses. So tell me, if you consider one interesting, tell me right away. So anybody else gets you one. So remember, we have congenital insensitivity to pain. We have Stoneman syndrome, Alice in Wonderland, autobrewery, walking corpse, foreign accent, progeria, parasitic twin, and human werewolf. Tell me, which one do you want for your presentation? Remember that you're going to create a presentation about this.
For me, the last one, please.
Okay, you want the human werewolf. Okay, I am going to write it down. Okay, Victoria, so you can start working on your presentation. If you want, you can create a slide, okay? Besides the information, you can create a slide or show pictures, however you want, okay? And remember, look for the information, the symptoms, and what you should or shouldn't do, what you must and mustn't do, okay? So let's see, I see Robert. Tell me, Robert.
I could I take the Alice in Wonderland syndrome?
Okay, Alice in Wonderland, perfect. So remember,
Thanks.
a short presentation with the information, symptoms, and the things you should or shouldn't do, okay? Nice.
I would like to
Alejandra, tell
take,
me.
oh, sorry.
Oh, yes.
I would like to continue with my topic, walking corpse syndrome.
Okay, walking corpse syndrome, nice. So you may start working. Remember, you can create a presentation, you can show pictures however you want, okay? Guillermo, tell me.
I would like to work in Stoneman syndrome.
Okay, Stoneman syndrome, perfect. That is really interesting. Imagine getting like a statue at the end. Okay, you may start working. Yes, Andrea, tell me.
I want the congenital insensitivity to pain.
Okay, you read it, you liked it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, pretty nice. What about the rest? Mhm.
I choose parasitic twin.
Okay, parasitic twin. Okay, you liked it too, right? It is very interesting. Parasitic twin. Pretty nice, Frankie. You can start working. Let's see. I have Ronnie, Carlos, and Jose Luis. Which one do you want? Okay, Carlos, tell me.
In my case, I will take the foreign accent syndrome.
Okay, okay, the foreign accent syndrome. Pretty
Syndrome.
nice. Foreign accent. Okay.
For me,
Okay, tell me, Ronnie. Which one do you want?
autobrewery syndrome.
Okay, the autobrewery syndrome. Pretty nice. And which one do we have left for Jose Luis? I think progeria. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So that will be your topic, Jose Luis, progeria, okay? Hutchinson-Gilford progeria syndrome, okay? So remember, a presentation with the information that the most interesting information, right, about the syndrome, the symptoms, what do you feel, what happens, the characteristics, and things that you should or must or should and mustn't do if you have this syndrome, okay? So let's work on this. Okay, people. Let's see our presentations. Who wants to be the first one? If we don't get to present every syndrome today, we're going to continue tomorrow, okay? Don't
I
worry
want to
for
be the
that.
first one.
Okay, thank you very much, Guillermo. Are you going to
Okay.
present?
Yes, yes. I will share my
Okay.
screen.
Okay. I stopped sharing mine.
Okay. Let me see. So, will you see it?
Okay, yes, I can.
Okay. So my topic is fibro dysplasia, ossification progressiva, or also known as the Stoneman syndrome. So first, a little bit of information. It's an extremely rare connectivity tissue disease in which fibrous connectivity tissues such as muscle, tendons, and ligaments turn into bone tissue. It is the only known medical condition where one organ system changes into another, sorry. It is a severe disabling disorder with no current cure or treatment. Okay. So for no reasons, children born with Stoneman syndrome often have malformed big toes, sometimes missing a joint, or in other cases, simply presenting with a notable lump at the minor joint. The first flare-up that leads to the formation of the Stoneman syndrome bone usually occurs before the age of 10. The bones grow generally progressive from the top of the body downwards, just as bone grow in fetus. A child with Stoneman syndrome will typically develop additional bones starting at neck, then at the shoulders, arms, chest area, and finally at the feet. Specifically, ossification is typically first seen in the dorsal, axial, cranial, and proximal regions of the body. Later, the disease progresses into the ventral, appendicular, caudal, and distal regions. However, it does not necessarily occur in the order due to injury caused by flare-up. Often, the tumor-like lumps that characterize a flare-up of the disease appear suddenly. Stoneman syndrome is caused by an autosomal domination allele on chromosome 2q23, 24. I don't know how you call that symbol. So the allele has variable expressivity, but the complete penetrance. Most causes are caused by a spontaneous mutation in the gametes. Most people with Stoneman syndrome cannot or choose not to have children. A similar disease, a similar but less catastrophic disease is fibrodysplasia, which is caused by a post-zygotic mutation. A mutation in the gene ACVR1, also known as active-like kinase 2, is responsible for this disease. Okay, the diagnosis. Generally, Stoneman syndrome can be diagnosed with radiographs. Early diagnosis of the disorder through radiology is very important to avoid unnecessary invasive investigations like biopsies. The biopsies is like they doing an autopsy, like extracting or getting part of your bones. So this is why they recommend doing a radiograph earlier. And the smallest or trivial trauma or intramuscular injection can amplify progression of the disease through inflammation, hence the favorability of radiology. So this is why they recommend doing the radiograph, because if they try to intervene you, they can cause the faster growth of the bone. So that's why they recommend doing the radiograph. So as I say, there is no cure approved or approved treatment for the Stoneman syndrome. So sometimes the people go to the doctor to get diagnosed, but as I said, there is no cure, but the doctor can suggest you to do some exercises or some treatment to help you living with that disease. And things to do and things not to do with this disease. So first things to not do, do not do any sport activity. Try to not hit yourself or get hit by something or someone. Do not do heavy work, and do not force things to do. Go to the doctor, follow the treatment if a case and that the doctor gives you, eat well, and always be in a safe place. And that's all.
Okay, thank you very much. That was a lot of interesting information. Imagine
Thank you.
all the things that you cannot do. Actually, you must stay at your house, right? You must stay home and you're gonna do any
Yeah.
physical activity. You must be careful walking around your house if you go out and you well, doctors cannot practice a surgery, right? Because it says that
No.
it will create, it would generate like explosive growth of the bone.
Yes.
Imagine. Okay, thank you very much, Guillermo. That was very interesting. A lot of interesting information. Thank you. Now let's see, who do we have a second?
Can I?
Okay, yes, Frankie, of course. Thank you very much.
One moment to present my screen.
Okay, thank you.
Um,
There it is.
can you see anything?
Yes, yes, I can. I see. Okay. Okay, yes, we can see it.
One. Okay, can you see my presentation?
Yes, we can. Parasitic twin.
Okay, I'm going to talk about parasitic twin. Case report of conjoined twins, Siamese twins, is a wild mammal are scarce. Most published reports of conjoined twins in mammals concern case in a man and domestic mammals. Here we have an example. It's very complicated to the bone. But who is it diagnosed? It's a possible to identify the parasite and the parasite twin during your pregnancy. Much depends on the position and the extent of the developmental abnormality as can be seen on imaging tests such as ultrasound, CT scan, MRI. Then what are the different forms of the parasite twin? This is someone's different forms. Types of the parasitic twin are also named for the location of attachment. Cephalophagus, back of the head. Craniopagus parasiticus. Cranium, epigastric, upper abdomen, about the stomach. Is Istiopagus, the pelvis. Then, during the parasitic twin syndrome is rare research genetic disorder that primarily affects people assigned male at birth. Some babies born with the syndrome have severe complications, while the others have only mild issues. Researchers are still trying to determine the cause of the syndrome. If your child receives a diagnostic of PBS, your pediatrician will work with a team of doctors to provide your child with the care they are need to drive. Right. It's not defined during the pregnancy. A parasitic twin is usually evident on the birth. Recent case of the parasitic twins. The parasitic twins are big news, so they may seem more common than they are. They are actually such a rare occurrence that most doctors have never come across a case. In 2017, A baby named Dominic made headlines when she traveled from the West Africa to Chicago for surgery. There, the team neurosurgeons spent 6 hours removing her parasitic gland, and the 10 months old had an extra pelvis, legs, feet, and toes production from her neck and back. Then, summary, it's a rare sort genetic disorder that primarily affects the people assigned male birth. Some babies born with the syndrome have severe complications, while the others have only mild issues. Research are still trying to determine the cause of the syndrome. If your child to receive a diagnostic of PDS, your pregnancy will work with the team of doctors to provide your child with the care they need to drive. This is my presentation about this syndrome.
Okay, thank you very much, Frankie. Imagine that little girl, Dominic. She had
Dominic,
pelvis, legs,
food,
toes, and feet coming up from her neck and back. Imagine.
yes, about
And the surgeons took 6 hours to
6 hours
operate
spent. Yeah,
in a surgery, right? Imagine. And you don't know while the woman is pregnant. You just know when you give
it's
birth. I mean,
it's
you
not
see the
sure.
baby.
Mhm. Only
Yes,
when you have the baby in your hand.
yes. Imagine there is no way that you know during the pregnancy. Oh my God. Okay,
But
thank you, Frankie. Yes?
but not only with the people, with humans. It's common with another mammal animal.
Yes, with animals, with mammal animals, right? We saw the deer that had two heads, right?
Yeah,
Imagine. Oh my, I saw a cat, I believe, that had two heads too.
yeah.
Imagine. That is really weird. That is really, really weird. Okay, thank you very much, Frankie. And we are going to have the last person for today. Okay, Victoria, thank you. Oh, Andrea, you're going to be the first one for tomorrow, okay? Don't worry. Okay, Victoria, you can share your screen if you want. Okay, human werewolf syndrome.
Hmm. Okay, human werewolf syndrome. Hypertrichosis, also known as werewolf syndrome, is a condition causing excessive hair growth anywhere on a person's body. It can affect both females and males, but is extremely rare. The abnormal hair growth may cover the face and body or in small patches. Hypertrichosis can appear at birth or develop over time. Symptoms of hypertrichosis. As mentioned previously, hypertrichosis can occur at birth or develop later in life. Hypertrichosis usually produces one of three types of hair: vellus. The follicles for this hair are usually short. They may be located anywhere, but not on your feet, back, on your ears, lips, palms. Vellus may be pigmented or not pigmented. Lanugo, this type of hair is very soft and fine, like that on the body of a newborn baby. It usually has no pigment. Most babies lose lanugo within a few days or weeks after birth. If hypertrichosis is presented, lanugo may remain only treated or and removed. In terminal, the hair is long and thick and usually very dark. Another common symptom of hypertrichosis is the problem with your gums and teeth. Some teeth may be missing or your gums may be enlarged. Causes of this condition. The causes of hypertrichosis aren't well understood, though there is a form of disease that tends to run in families. Congenital hypertrichosis may be caused by reactivation of genes that cause hair growth by a mistake that still has no cause. These hair growth genes turn on while a baby is still on a womb. And treating hypertrichosis. Hypertrichosis has no cure, and you can do anything to prevent the congenital form of the disease. Treating hypertrichosis involves the removal of hair through a variety of short-term methods. They include shaving, chemical epilation, waxing, and hair bleaching. And that's all.
Okay, thank you very much. Imagine it has 3 types of hair. The little one, even on your palm. I was interested by that. We don't have hair here, and neither on the, we call la planta del pie, right? The under part of our foot, right? But they have hair. Imagine having hair here. That would be so weird because we have hair all over our body, right? But imagine on our palms, that would be really, really weird for me to have hair. Imagine you rub your hand like this. Oh my God, that would be so weird. Okay, and that was very interesting, Victoria. Thank you very much. Imagine, and it might be congenital, like Guillermo's disease, right? That some people choose not to have children because they are going to take to heritage that disease to their children. Okay, thank you very much, Victoria. So for tomorrow, we have the first one, Andrea, and the rest that didn't go through. Okay, I have you written here on my little. Oh, you can see. Here you can see a little bit on my board, okay? So I have your names and your diseases for tomorrow, okay? So thank you very much, people. I know that we have very interesting diseases, so we are going to continue talking about them tomorrow, okay? Thank you for connecting because you are a lot today. I didn't expect so many public today, but thank you. So we're going to see each other tomorrow, the same time, okay? Have a beautiful rest of the night, people.
Good
Take care.
night.
Good night, teacher.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you very
Bye.
much.
Bye.
Same for
Good
you.
night. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye bye. Good night.
Thank you. Teacher,
Yes, Carlos. Something.
do you know what's the issue with the platform? What unit